Medicine is working, but we are not just done yet. To secure a peace that can last, Ukraine needs a strong deterrent against any future aggression. Without such guarantees, any truce or a ceasefire is only an invitation for Russia to regroup and return. We have seen this time and again. We must not repeat the mistakes made with the Minsk agreements. The most credible security guarantee would be NATO membership. Before that happens, but also thereafter, the required deterrence must be based primarily on Ukraine's own defense forces, firmly supported by external assistance and credible security arrangements provided by Europe and the US. In parallel to supporting Ukraine, Russia's position must be further weakened. Sanctions must be strengthened and their implementation made more effective. Russia's war economy is already showing serious cracks. We must also find a way to use the frozen Russian assets, around 200 billion euros in Europe, to support Ukraine and compensate for the damage Russia's aggression has caused. We Finns know from experience that Russia is a skillful but unreliable negotiator. One of our foremost diplomats and later President Paasikivi was on several occasions on the other side of the table from Stalin and Molotov when our existence as an independent country was on the line in the 1930s and 1940s. He summed it up like this: the constant policy of the Russians is to get what they can with as little as possible and then come back asking for more. They never sacrifice their immediate interests for future objectives. They are immune to any ethical, human, or abstract legal factors. This is the Finnish experience. The Ukrainians know from their own experience that Russia has broken every single commitment they have ever made on Ukraine's sovereignty. No agreement with Moscow can stand without the will and the means to enforce it. The merits of any agreement that may result from the talks that have been initiated between the US and Russia, or any group of countries for that matter, will not be judged on the day of the signing. They will be judged every day thereafter. To make sure that the deal is a good one, the US will need Europeans. Dear friends, history has shown that when Europe and the United States stand together, we are an unbreakable force for peace, security, and freedom. Transatlantic partnership has historically been strong, and it must remain so. President Trump is certainly right that we in Europe must do more for our own security. But for both the US and Europe to succeed in bringing peace to Ukraine and strengthening transatlantic security, we must build peace through the strength of alliances. This applies to security and defense, but also to the global economic and technological competition. On the British Isles, as well as on the European continent, we share the same concerns about the future. We are determined to act so that we can shape that future, rather than being shaped by it. The UK's contribution to European security is not just historic, it is essential. From both world wars to the present day, Britain has stood firm when freedom has been at stake. Prime Minister Starmer's recent commitment to increasing defence spending is a powerful and timely message. It coincides with similar decisions across Europe. We are stepping up. Together, the EU and the UK have a GDP almost 10 times the size of Russia. We have the means. Whether we have the political will is a question of priority, and no priority is higher than keeping our citizens safe and free. By doing more as Europe, we also show with actions our value as trusted, indispensable transatlantic partner. Sir Winston Churchill once said, "To each there comes a moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a special thing, unique to them and their talents. This is Europe's moment. We must rise to it." I thank you so much for your attention.
Estamos escuchando cómo Finlandia, a través de la ministra de Asuntos Exteriores, también valora la situación en la que estamos. 11 de la mañana, en un momento en el que hemos conocido la tasa de desempleo en la eurozona, 6,2%, frente al dato anterior del 6,3%, y el pronóstico, el forecast, que era también del 6,3%. Eurozona, tasa de desempleo 6,2%. No hay un movimiento de aumento del desempleo en unas condiciones en las que ha estado los tipos de interés elevados. Europa tiene un buen dato en el desempleo. Ha dicho la ministra de Asuntos Exteriores, sobre todo ha hablado de lo que está sucediendo alrededor de Rusia y Ucrania. Ha dicho que, me llama la atención que ha dicho que para una paz duradera se necesita la disuasión, que enlaza con lo que Macron dijo también en la televisión portuguesa el fin de semana, diciendo que propone también al resto de socios que la disuasión nuclear que puede dar Francia, sus ojivas nucleares, se puedan utilizar para defender a los socios. Ha dicho Valtonen, la ministra de Asuntos Exteriores finlandesa, que Putin cree que el tiempo está de su lado y Occidente es débil, y que ese es el peor escenario al que se enfrenta ahora mismo Europa, que Putin crea que el tiempo ahora mismo está de su lado y que Occidente es débil. Valtonen ha dicho también que para una paz duradera se necesita la disuasión. Ha dicho Valtonen también que Rusia comparte frontera con 11 países y solo uno ha sido siempre independiente, poniendo una fotografía también histórica de cómo es en este escenario la posición rusa. Vámonos otra vez a seguir escuchando el debate alrededor ahora del gasto en defensa de Europa.